Everyone, glad to see you're back. We're a little early. We thought we'd get things started a little. We've been having issues with the electric and want to make sure the phone was doing everything we needed to this morning at, I don't know, it was about 5 o'clock. We had a huge thunderstorm move through. It was fast, hit boomers everywhere. Lightning is loud, and it took our power out. We lost it, I guess it was a little after about maybe 6, something like that. And it hit just right over here. And it's always us. It's always our little area right here. Takes out 200 homes. Our neighbors across the street always have power, as does up this way. But then right here, because it's the pole that just takes this little block, that it takes us out. So I wasn't even sure if we were going to be able to do the broadcast from here or not today because of that. If ever happens, something like that happens, we'll go down and we'll film at my mom's, which is where my dad's train collection is, and we can just do a little something there. I won't ever have a broadcast scheduled and not do it because of something like that. So anyway, that was the excitement for the morning. A little tired because normally I stay up later on Friday nights because I know I can sleep in a little bit, but that wasn't the case this morning at all. I've been up ever since the power went out. So anyway, we're here, we're going. So we're going to show you where we're at. There's a lot of things that happened in, let's see, our last live was Wednesday night, so 3 days, 2.5, 3 days. A bunch has happened. We didn't quite get some stuff done that I had talked about on Wednesday night. We just kind of ran out of time, but I will show you what we have gotten done. I think we'll start off with the city again, and then today we're going to be doing this, as we discussed on Wednesday. You'll see how we've got this is different from here. I'll be doing the staining of the rocks right here. I got my plate and everything all set up. I just got to thin some paint down, get ready for that. And that's what we'll do for the build today is we're going to do, get this to look like this. So that's what that'll be. So I'll go ahead and get the camera and I'll start showing you everything that we have done and we haven't done. All right, so here we go. We'll start, as we always do, with the city. As you can see, the big building that we were going to put right here did not get done. That was kind of ambitious since we didn't even have that on Wednesday, and I thought we might have it by today. Well, that just didn't quite happen with our schedules and everything the way it is. Plus, I had a lot of other stuff I had to complete. If you look right here, I'll see if I can get in here. Yeah, I can get in here. You can see the handrail. We've got that going all the way down this, and the ribbing is on here. As you can see, we've got all the ribbing down the side on both sides. So that has been applied, as have, I don't even know how many there are. I think it's close to 70 of these little triangle. Let me get down a little bit here and see if I can see it. I don't know if you can or not. But there's little triangles right here for supports for the walkway, and they go all the way down the side right there too. There's about 70 of those on there, and each one of those had to be filed and made and all that good stuff. Same with the handrails, but it does look really nice. I'm really happy with how that came out. So this elevated track is virtually done. This section of it is pretty much done. Time we get together again in a couple of weeks for a work session, I should probably have this painted. This will be the first thing that I'll probably get painted, along with maybe a building or two. This building is going to go bye-bye. We'll have another one going in right here. Looks exactly the same as it, but I found a way of being able to detail interiors out really well to where I can have, we'll be able to see little scenes inside behind the windows, but because I glued this one completely together, thinking I was just going to paint it and leave it the way it was, it's just, it's not going to work now. So we're going to put this up for sale, get rid of it, and we'll have another one here that I can light up completely and have an interior in and spots. And the same will be up here on this big guy. We're going to have little windows that'll actually be seeing things going on inside. So that's where we're at on that. So what we'll be doing on this right here before the next get-together is I'm going to make the curved track that comes out and goes over here to the wall and catches up right here, and that'll be where the raised part of the layout will be with the rock wall like this rock wall is here. We'll have a nice even rock wall back here, and I have decided to go ahead and add a passing siding right here, or just maybe just a siding of some sort so that the elevator will hide all of that. You won't see the siding, but this way on this high line that we have, we can actually have a couple of trains. We can have a couple in the hole here, maybe 2 sidings and a siding over where we have our cross piece. So that's what we've got going there. Now I'm going to turn a light on here and show you what I've been doing on this concrete wall this week. Okay, if you missed this on Wednesday, I showed this, part of this already done. This is the retaining wall. Now this will be obviously glued back in place. It's just bowing out now because it's plastic. We got the graffiti put on. This is all, now this graffiti is decals. What I have done though, I mentioned it on the other live stream that these are, as with any of the graffiti decals that you get, they were a straight cut along the bottom. Everything was cut off. For when you put it onto the bottom of the car, it cuts off at the flat at the bottom of the car. So what I've done is, in areas I've come in and I've added the white paint here. On this, I color matched the green. So let me get that focused in a little bit better. I color matched the green. I continued the letters on down, and then put the black outline around them. This one, I put the red down and I brought the lettering down. Same goes with this. And with this one, I color matched the blue and brought the lettering all the way down the bottom and just filled in with the white. And the same with this. I color matched the green that was on that, brought the lettering down, and then did the orange more around it, and did the same thing here. Now, I'm going to show you what we've done down here on this wall. I'm not sure. I like it a lot. It's just taking a lot to do. Let me get the light on this. Okay, so now you can see the weathering I'm doing on this concrete wall. So right here, I've taken the razor blade, an X-Acto blade, and I've cut the crack lines into the wall. And then I've come over the top with stains, either white acrylic paint or black acrylic paint and a little bit of gray. And I've done streaking down, and I've got this technique I use to get these lines to look darker and lighter in certain areas, build up the color, and it's really creating this great staining because, as we said, right up here is going to be Railroad Avenue, and Railroad Avenue is going to go right along this whole way right here. And this is a Midwest city, so obviously there's snow, and you're going to have salt, and you're going to have debris and things and dirt and all that, and the sidewalk comes right up to here, so the sidewalk, all of the snow that would get plowed up has to go somewhere. The snow and ice melt and everything, so that would be the streaking. This would be the salt that you would see streaking down from melt off. So you can see right here the real variations in color that I've done. You've got the white. I've added some extra white up here where it catches around the cracks, and we've got some really neat little medium tone areas right here to help set off the cracks a little bit more. And then some of these don't have cracks, but it's just staining that's going on. I've just started this panel right here. It's still really dark. I haven't put any of the white in just yet. And I'll do a few more streaks here. So that's going to come all the way on down. I'm going to keep continuing this weathering process all the way down through here. And we get to here, I'll have to put some rust in because I'll show you that here in a second, because one of the reasons why we didn't get to the big building back here is a project we started here. All right, so let me get this. Oh, hey, how you doing?
Plaster of Paris and sand and stain mixed in, worked great, and just came back through and carved it.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I was thinking about doing some kind of a, like I did with this, where I put the joint compound over the top and then I carved everything. I was thinking about doing something like that over here, but this was so quick, just putting the, just cutting the sheet of styrene I needed the exact right size, and then putting the braces on and then just painting it up. If I had the time, I'd probably go in, because then I could really just chip away like I've done with other projects where you can make it look like crumbling rock and everything. But for just a fast project, I think I'm doing okay on that. So what's going to happen here now is this is changed. It's not changed completely as to what it was going to be. It's just expanded. You know, we talked about how we're going to put our station spanning these tracks. So I'm going to, essentially, it's like if we took the back of this wall on this side off, you could see in. So the station is going to be right here, and it's going to span this, and like we talked about, the parking garage is going to be here. Well, here is the first panel for the station. It's a big station. This is just the first of 4 panels that are going to make up the back, and then there's 2 towers on either side. So this is going to sit, I'll stand back here a little bit, see if I get a shot of it here. So it's going to sit on top of the I-beam frame that we're going to make that's going to span the track completely for the entire length of the station. And it's going to sit right here in this area. And then it's going to be pretty much matched on the other side. There's some really cool doors and arches that come with this, and the two towers are really beautiful. One's got a clock on the top and looks great. So this is going to be, you can get an idea of size versus the buildings in the background, how big this thing is. It's going to eventually be probably, I'm guessing, about 25 inches long, 24 to 25 inches long, and probably about 18 inches in height. The roof is going to be a nice slanted roof it's going to be the metal with the slats coming down, and what I'll be doing with it is going to be giving it that faux look of copper that has been weathered. So it's going to be the greeny blue, mostly the roof, with a little bit of copper showing through here and there on all the peaks up at the top. So by the time we get together, this station will be built and finished probably this week.
Jeff says he also carved the foam and used paper towels over it.
Oh, that's a good idea too. Yeah. All right. So this is what we've done here. So I've just got to finish the weathering all the way down, and we've got to get this finished. Now I do have graffiti that's going to go on top of what I've done here, and then I'll streak the weathering over the top of the graffiti to keep the weather lines going. And this is all going to get the same effect. It's going to be weathered like this over the top of all of this. So that'll give it a really nice effect. All right, so that's where we are. So hopefully now we have a train show coming up that we're going to be going to 2 weeks from today. So I'm not quite sure exactly what day we're going to be doing our next live session. But it'll be coming up within the next 2 weeks at some point. Now, next Friday, I'm going to be doing this next Friday. Where's the thing at? Here it is. Okay, so I've been talking about how I'm going to be doing the light areas to give us our light. As you can see, get a little closer here. You can see the light effects with the nice darker effects. Well, we're going to do the dark effects today. And these light effects that I do up here, I'm going to do all in one day, and we're going to telecast that. We're going to just have that as a live session. So I'll be turning the thing on, and this is probably going to do this whole stretch right here. It's probably going to take me about 3 hours. So you can just come tune in, watch a little bit if you want. Go away, come back, see how far I've gotten, that kind of thing. If you don't want to sit for the full 3 hours, because these are the snoozers that I call as far as the weathering and stuff goes, but it's what gives you the look. So that's where we'll be coming up. Some things have changed as far as the design up here goes. This is going to come really fast. I've decided to go ahead and take the high line. The main line, I'm going to go ahead and get it pretty much finished all the way around to here. Within the next 2 weeks, we're going to have the bridges that are going to come across right here, because I've got to span all the tracks, the main lines, to get over here into the mountains. We'll have this foam down. This is all within the 2-week period. So there's going to be a lot of changes. I'm going to try to get the high line up and get the where it curves here and goes around and comes across this opening right here to hook up here. That should all be done. That should be done within 3 to 4 weeks. So we can actually start to run the trains here pretty soon. And then I'll get this shelf down, get all these orders shipped off to get the shelf down, and then we'll get the mountain area started. All right, so that's where we're at. So if you have been keeping up, you see how much this has changed within a month's time. We had none of this a month ago, and this is now where we are. All right, so if there's no questions to this point or anything, I'm going to go ahead and set this up. I'm going to try to find a good spot for the camera and get this set up so you can see what I do with making the ink wash to do what I'm going to do right here. And that's kind of where we're going to be for the rest of this broadcast, is just finishing this up right here. This shouldn't take more than, I'm hoping, about 20-30 minutes to do at most. So you'll see how it goes. Let me get this set up, because I need to keep my light on it too. Let me see what I can get done here as far as being able to see the area I'm at. Well, that's pretty good. That's not too bad at all. And out of the way in case I start splashing paint. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, so here we go. So what we'll do here is, I'm going to get these things off right away on the floor down here. So I get my chair over. This takes a while. I like to have the chair for sitting. All right, so here we go. This is what I use. This is pretty much the paint I use for just about everything. This is the Apple Barrel paint that you can find at any Walmart. Order it online, easy enough. That you can. I get the bigger bottle for black and white because I use so much of that for a lot that I do. Otherwise, I get the smaller bottles like this. And this is the granite gray that is on here that we used, that we showed you a while ago, the base tone that we have. I just painted over everything, made sure I went over and did 2 coats on all of it so that as I start to do the black on here, I won't lose my gray. Sometimes if you don't put thick enough base coat on, when you start to get all of this, even though this has been dried for like a week, you can take off your original paint. All right, so I'm going to shake this up a little bit. And we're going to just get this. Like before, I keep my plates for different colors so I don't have anything mixing. I do have a plate when I'm working on, like for example, when I was working on the graffiti and doing all the colors on the graffiti, here was my plate for that. So you can see where I was mixing colors, I was bringing stuff in to get my oranges and my blues that I needed. So I'll have a plate when I'm doing small projects like this, but I usually keep a plate specifically for individual colors, especially the rust. When I'm doing rust on cars, I actually have a, you can see this. Here, there's a lot of paint there. You can see that's my rust color because I mixed 3 colors to get the rust I use on my cars for anything that I do rust-wise. And you'll see a lot of that when I start to do metal areas. When I do the bridge, the High Line, you'll see a lot of rust coming in. This is my bowl that I use for that. Okay, so this should be enough. And the black on this doesn't matter. I can always add more. It's the reason I'm going to do all of this down here with the light tone in one go is because I have to mix the color. And I'll probably mix it in a cup so it'll stay without drying out like it will here. So that it stays wet. I'll probably fill it up to about that high and I'll get the color mix that I want. Because I'll have to run the entire wall in one go. Because if I try to go back later and do the remix and try to match the light gray I'm going to use, odds are I'm not going to get the same. And if I stop here, right in this area, you're going to see a definite difference between the light gray here and here. So you just have to do it all at once. All right, so the first thing I do is I just have to thin this black paint down. Need it as close to ink consistency as possible. Let's see. This takes just a second. You have to have enough of the black paint in it to give you your color, but it's got to be where it will really flow. And this is a lot cheaper than buying black ink. All right, give that just a sec, let that mix for a minute. Sorry about that, I had to it's like the 4th or 5th time I've done that this week lately. I had to get my glasses on so I can see the detail work. So I'm looking around my work area here, looking for my glasses, and where are they? They're hanging from my shirt. So I don't know why that's been happening a lot lately. Yes, just fun things that come with age. Okay. So we got that ready. So I'm going to get my paper towel here so I can keep things clean. All right, here we go. I'll just get all that. So I always start on the top, work my way down. Okay, it's a little thin still, so I'm going to have to add a little bit of black into it. This is why I always start up high before I get to the really good stuff, just to make sure I got my mix right. There we go. There we go. Okay. So get it all in, and if it comes over the edge, I try to come down just a little ways. And then we just start doing a wipe off here. Looks kind of dirty and messy right now, but it all makes sense in a minute. And I try to go I pull my paint this way and then I dry off going this way. That way it stays down in the cracks. There we go. Get up on the edges up here as much as you can. Try to pull as much black off as you can up there. All right, now I'll just hit this face. Get down in all the nooks and crannies, everywhere you can possibly get. I try to overlap just a little bit. I always stop where I've got a good edge so that I can pick up from there when I move on for the next. Like I'm going to stop right here where this is. Where this drill hole is from when they were doing the cutting. Okay, get up underneath there. All right. Now make it really wet. Okay. Now we'll just start pulling down. I kind of don't have a whole lot of room here because of the light and the tripod, so I don't have a whole lot of room to work, so I'll try to do the best I can. This is heading towards the tunnel anyway, so if you think about it, there'd be a lot more soot and things. Definitely closer we get to the tunnel, and dirt from all the diesel smoke and everything that gets pushed back. Okay, and I'm going to leave the black in here. I'll probably dab just a little bit out, but I'm going to leave most of that black in there, and I'll get the top of this edge that's closest to that. Now I'll come back in, get some of that off, and really pull some of this off of here. There we go. That's getting better. That's starting to look like this rock over here now. It's been about 4 or 5 days since I had that done, so I'm just trying to get fairly close. As you can see now, we're pulling. Got a little bit too much came off, so we just put a little bit back on there, and there we go. And if you want to blend over, you can blend things in a little bit. This is still the darkness of the original that's dried, so I'm just going to kind of blend over and in a little bit. There we go. All right, that's doing good. I'm just going to pull a little bit more of this off right here. Now, a lot of this is going to get covered with the light gray that I'm going to be using, and the dry brush technique where you just drag it, and it does a beautiful job of giving you a light highlight that streaks down, and I'll do the same thing coming in up over here. I think I did okay over here. I think that's pretty well, works around the edge all right. I'll just do a little bit right there, and just kind of push it in and down. And then if you don't think you have enough highlight in certain areas, that's easy enough to fix. I always come back in and I'll get a nice thin mix of this stuff. And I'll just... Hello there. Hope you're having a good Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you are. So we'll just come in here, a few little spots here and there. And then we'll get the stuff on the surface back off. There we go. Just to put some darker areas to give us some nice highlights in there. So that's looking pretty good. Now it'll dry. It'll turn lighter as it dries. There we go. And it'll match. I've got a good match to this now. I'm going to just do take a little more off right here so it kind of blends over and in. There we go. Okay. So here we go. Let's get this really going now. This is just what takes the time, is just keeping the paint, the ink consistency. Because the acrylic, as most of you know that have worked with acrylic, it dries very fast. So this is why you really want to keep this going. All right, I'm going to put a couple spots right up here. A few little areas that I need to redarken. And then we'll just come in and there. That's giving me that ledge now that I want to have as a highlight. Now see, I've looked at some really good pictures of cuts. And I found some good aerial ones looking down into the cut area. And it looks like when it's mostly done is this, you get this ledge right up here at the top from either erosion or when they were doing what they were doing, it just fell off naturally. And then you have this secondary ledge right here. And this is usually a lighter gray. So I will be coming in later and getting a different color gray altogether. It'll be more of a white gray. That will be all of these upper areas above the ledge areas. So that'll be the last step, and then that blends in to the brown, the dirt, and everything that you have up top. So there we go. That looks like a nice blend into this. I can deal with that. Yes, okay. All right, so let's go. Where you get dribble overs, you need to go ahead and you always have to get that kind of done real quick, because this will create a line. If you don't blend it out, it will definitely create a line, and you will see that when you go down to do the bottom. So if you have to, just go ahead and do a quick coat over the top, and you'll come back over it in a little while. So let's just get in here and get all of that. We'll just go like that, pull it off, put that in like that, just keeping in mind where all the cracks are. Oh, that's pretty good. That's looking like this top up here without any problem. All right, we'll just come down here. Now we'll hit all this. Get a little more with the paint in it. Come to right here, this little ridge right there. I'll come down right to about right there with it. There's a good dividing line right there. All right, get it wet. I mean, it already is really wet, but I mean really get it wet now. Start pulling that down. It's a good thing I'm next to an LED light. Not so hot as like an incandescent bulb would be. All right, now we're just going to come in here. We're going to pull. Well, that came out nice. I like that light highlight right there. Get it right up to this edge. Pull that. Go ahead and blend that out. I'll be there in a sec. There we go. That's starting to do what I want it to do. Okay, and I got a little extra black came over the top there, so we'll just thin that out. And I'll just come in here, dab that area. I got a paper towel right here in my hand. It's getting kind of wet, so I'm going to have to change it out for a drier one here in just a sec. We will get this top edge back done, and I'm going to put a little bit in that crack right there, and I'm going to put a little bit right here, and I think I'm going to build up a little bit right there and there. And we'll come back in and just take a little bit around the edges off. There we go. I'm going to pull that down right there. Good. I'm happy with that. Let me grab another paper towel. It's gotten pretty wet. Okay, got that. Let's just come across. Finish this area up. Oh, that was just a piece of plastic that fell. All right. Now, I'm going to come on around here a little bit more. We're going to come up to the final spot right here where we came to this point. Okay. And get all up in there. All right, I've already started coming in here, so I'm going to come to right here on that. So I'm going to have to mix up some more black. It's gotten, I've used up everything. It's either that or it's dry, one of the two, so I'll have to come in and, okay. Now, and when I get done with everything, I'll pan the camera across here and you'll be able to see a lot of the varying colors a lot more. There we go, just get those highlights. There. Down here, this ridge, get that highlight right there. Get the black up underneath there. Get that. There we go. Now I'm going to go back in. I think I'm going to put a couple of areas where I need to get a little more depth into it. There we go. Now this will work with any color you want to use. If you're doing limestone and you're using a sort of a brownish, orange brown kind of a color, it'll work the same. You can do any color you want to do this. You're going to get the same result whether you're working with black or orange or whatever you want to work with. Now on an orange, I've done it one of two ways. Like if you're doing limestone, I've done black as an overcoat to get the shadows. But then what you have to do is you really have to go in and do a good mid-tone again with the original limestone color. Just as a medium tone, just as a dry wash over the top. And then you have to thin that out, or not thin out, but you got to lighten it with your white to get the light highlights. So but then I've also done it where I've just used, whoops, clicked on me there, where I've just used varying tones of the limestone color itself. And that's worked just as fine. You just make a little bit of darker limestone color by mixing black in with it and doing what I'm doing basically right now with the black you would do with the darker limestone color. Just an overwash of a dark paint. Now, just get this nice and wet. All right, brush clean. Start re-pulling this stuff off. Now, you will pull with the foam, especially with foam, even with the joint compound and stuff off, you will pull bits off from time to time. It's inevitable. It's no big deal. Just put a little paint over it, hide it, and you're good to go. All right, I'm going to pull a bit here. I'm going to get this under area right here. Anywhere that there's a raised area, we're going to go ahead and pull that down. And then sometimes it's good just to sit back for a minute and just look at it, make sure it's all blending out the way you want it to, that you've hit everything that you want to hit. Like I saw a couple of areas here that didn't quite get the white covered. And the same goes right here. We kind of got back down to the joint compound, so I'm just going to fill those areas in just real quick here, just kind of neaten things up. There we go. Okay. So again, I'm going to come in here where I get some really thin mix. And just let it run. I'm going to do it here. Here's another reason why I like to do this before I put track down. All this. It's along the base here. If you had track down, you'd have to have this covered, and you'd have to take it off when you're done if you want to run. I'm not in that big of a hurry to run. That's why I'm getting the high line done first. It's all the background stuff, so we can have little things going. But I really didn't have to worry about that. This is what I enjoy doing, is this part, like I've said before. So to me, doing the building, doing this experience far outweighs the actual train running itself. That's just the bonus at the end after you've had your fun doing all of this. And this to me is fun. I like getting in here and making this look real. And it really is, I don't know if it's picking up on the camera, but it is really starting to blend in nicely all the way across. This rock face right here looks nice. It did come across a little bit of black here and there to blend out with it. I may put a few like right here just to, there we go. Yeah, that blends it nicely. All right, so get on around the corner. So as you can see, I've already got half of this done. This isn't taking any time at all, probably like 10, 15 minutes at most. So we're gonna just come on across here, go about right to here, because you can see a good dividing point right there. It's a little thin, so get a little extra black, put it in here. All right. Then we'll just pull this off, blend that out so you don't have any straight lines or anything, just kind of while we get this top finished. put a little bit more. I need to pick up some more paint here, get it down in the black area here. Now these are just cheap Walmart brushes also. I get a pack of for like $6 that you get about 8 brushes, varying thicknesses all the way down to a real fine point. So really to do this is some of the cheapest stuff you can do, and it's some of the most impactful I have found on your layout. You can get your scenery done well. That makes up for a lot of building issues and things that you might not have that you're not happy with, or you want to impress your friends when they come over. This is their high impact, is this stuff right here. It doesn't hurt to have huge, beautiful buildings and things, but your scenery is really what people will notice the most. All right, here we go. Get this. And I might as well just finish this wall up right to here. It won't take me much. I'll just kind of go right to there. All right, let's get it nice and get the paint really flowing. Get some of that tucked back there. All right. I'm going to have to get another paper towel here in a minute. This one's gone. It's pretty much done its job. Start dragging down. Oh yeah, definitely gonna have to get another paper towel. I'm not able to get that dry enough to pull that off. Okay. Another paper towel. There we go. Oops. There, just pull that back. Now, on this, I've been thinking back while I've been working on this. I think the reason I'm having some issues right here is I did what I told you not to do, which was I don't think I put a second coat of gray on this. I thought I had, but this is actually reacting very differently than what I had down at the other end. So I think I forgot to put a second coat. I've been so busy with all the different projects on here. It's just been hard keeping track of what I have and haven't done, because see, I'm starting, it's flaking off pretty good. It'll still get there, and you won't be able to tell the difference once I start doing all the light highlights and things. But I can just tell right here by the way this is reacting that I probably did not. So it's a good learning lesson that it is important that, you know, for me anyway, the steps I have developed over the years on how I do my painting, that I stay with my steps. Because actually you can see some of the, right here you can see a little bit of the pink of the foam coming through. I've actually gone through both the original paint, or the granite paint, and the joint compound, and gotten down to pink right there. So that's a real indicator that I didn't put a second coat on. We all make mistakes. Like I said, it's just been interesting trying to keep straight everything as I've been trying to fly through these projects. Which, you know, I'm trying to get this because where I've gotten the go-ahead to do the attic, I'm trying to get this looking as good as I can within the next 6 months so I can start that project. And it will. I'll get there with this. It's not gonna look, I'm not sacrificing end result to just try to speed things up. So I don't want you thinking that that's the case. It's not gonna be. Now I'm gonna put a little extra down here as we're getting closer to the tunnel. I'm gonna put a little more grime at the bottom down here, just from build up from the engines and the traffic through there over the years. That's looking good. I like that. Yeah, I built me up a nice, maybe I'll come back, come through here. Just put a little bit right along here, like oh yeah, there we go. And I always tell when I'm happy with something. Ooh, there we are. So there we go. Oh, that looks good. I like that base color right there. That really made this stuff up here pop a little bit better. Okay, and it makes it more natural for the approach into the tunnel area. All right, I'm gonna have to thin this down a little bit more. We're on to our last quarter. I'll try not to use as much pressure now that I know that I've pretty much working with a single coat of paint below. All right, so I'll just get this where I get a little more ink in it. Ink paint, ink to me. There we go. Got the last one. Pull that out. I'm going to come back in here and add a little bit more once I get this section done up top here, just to give it those effects. There we go. See, I'm getting some nice light highlights here with some dark highlights right there. That's starting to get what I want. I'm just not pushing as hard as I was that I'm used to being able to do. And I'm not losing my gray. So I'm just adjusting for pressure for what I can do. There we are. That's it. That's got it. Yeah. I'm happy with that. All right. So we'll do the front here. All right. Here we go. Oh, a little more paint. No, a little more paint. There we are. We'll come on in here. Yeah, I'm right on top of this light, so I'm glad it's an LED now, not an incandescent. Boy, my face would be burning right now. I'm going to come to about right here. So I don't want it to dry up on me too much. Kind of fade that out. Okay, so here we go. Get the thinning. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but the jay outside, we've got some jays. They're on their move south, coming through again like they do every year this time. He's really fussing. We generally put some food out for him. But this year we've been having a lot of problems with raccoons. We had feeders up on shepherd's hooks, and they knocked it off the first time. The raccoons knocked it off the first time. Opened them up, got into it. So I went ahead and zip tied them to the shepherd's hooks. And so what they do, they open the doors to the side of the feeder are those types that you put those blocks in, the suet blocks in. So what do? They actually open the doors, pried the doors open, and got the suet out. So I don't know. They're a real pain.
Who says not that?
Ah, well, thank you. All right, we're almost done. I'll come and do the bottom here in a minute, like I was doing down here. That's definitely looking good. I'm happy with the way this is starting to come around the corner here. There we go. Now the tunnel portal will be coming here, or bridge, or whatever I'm going to do here to here. So I don't know how much more I'm going to have to actually cut out and shape right through here. So I'm going to just go ahead and just stop it here till I actually get the bridge part built and in place, and then whatever else I have to do, I'll do at that point. All right, get this thinned. Really get it going. Yeah, see right up here. There we go. Okay, now I'll try this and just start pulling some of that off. Yeah, there we go. That's doing it. And I'll come back in and I'll retouch those areas up, get rid of that pink, and that'll dry nicely. And this is all going to get that light tone anyway, so that's not really, none of this is really an issue at all. It's just I like having paint working on paint when I do my weathering, so that's why it's better for me to get as much off where I need to put my light as possible, my lighter tones as possible, because that's just makes things easier for me down the line there. Okay, oh, that looks nice. I'm happy with that. Okay, I'll leave that the way it is. It's a good It's a good dark area right there. I get this though, that looks a little goofy. I'll come back in and do that. Okay, so now I'm going to come across the bottom and do the dark highlight like I did down here, and I think that should get me my shadow areas and my darker tones done. All the way down, and then I'll show you what it all looks like. Now this will look a little different because it's wet. This is going to take a while to dry, especially with paint that's as thin as this is. But I'll show you what it's going to look like here. All right, we just come in here and start popping. I need a little more paint than that. There we go. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. Okay. Perfect. That's what I wanted it to do. Come up a little bit into some areas here. This is where you can just always add your extra little bits of highlights, your dark highlights. When you get done, there, that looks, I like that. And we'll just put that, little dots in here and there. Pull that out, get my brush clean. And we'll come in here, I'll pull that back out. I just wanted some right down here at the bottom, and I got that now. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Get a little more, a few more areas of the light highlight, and do the same thing up top here. Now, if you guys ever have any questions about this, these videos, like we said, are posted on the thing, and you can just come and re-watch this, or just send me a message. I don't mind answering questions. If you ever want, more than likely, or I've probably got a video on it, me doing most of what it takes for a layout. I've pretty much done a video for it. So I'll either direct you to it, or I'll find one that somebody else has done. If it's a technique I haven't done yet, I don't mind showing you other people's videos of stuff if I haven't done it yet. I will eventually cover everything myself. But if I haven't yet, I will help you out as best I can. So like I said, this is the most important thing to me. And like I said, when people walk away from your layout, they're going to remember things like this, seeing what looks like real rock, your ground covering, your trees. I'm going to be doing a series on, it's been a long time since I've done trees, and there's been a lot of new materials come out that are really good that I've seen at shows. And there's some guys that I've seen do some things to make their trees. I don't know how they do it, but it looks like they have individual leaves on them. And I'm going to be getting into that, and I'm going to be learning how to do that. And as I experiment with it, I will share my experiences with you as to what seemed to work, what didn't. There we go. Get this top lip up here done. I needed to get that again. Okay. Well, I think that moved pretty quick. So you can see this took about, I don't know, I guess we've been at about 15, 20 minutes now, somewhat like that. And you can see what we've done. It's, we completed about a 2-foot section right here. And this was strictly just letting the water do the work for you. Boy, came all the way through. I'll have to get that cleaned up. This plate, I've even got it double plated, but that usually happens. I'm not worried about that. It's all going to get painted anyway. So, all right, let's get the camera, and we will do a slow pan of it all, and you can see how I was able to blend it right to it, and it came out all right. Let's see here. How bad did this come through? Oh, it's not bad. I've had to clean up a lot worse. Let's get up most of it right now. There we go. I'll just put this on top of the towel. It's actually dripping through it. I actually made a hole. Okay. I'll leave these lights focused the way they are. I'm going to pick this up. And here we go. All right, so now we'll start here where this is where I had finished before, prior to today. So you can see it blended just beautifully right across. I'm really, really happy with how it kind of connected in. This is because I didn't have to mix paints to get the tone I needed for here. It was just black diluted. So now you can see, I'll turn this right here, down a little bit right here. And I'll get this, and we'll bring this down right here, and we'll angle it down this way. You can just see how it just kind of goes all the way around now. Got my cars in here that I use to make sure my effects look the way I want them to look with my weathered cars in front, and I'm really happy with all this. This looks, here in person, I've got better light here. This just looks great. And I can't wait to do the light tones on this now to really finish this off. So there we go. So now back up just a little bit, and you can see this is a little bit darker right now, and that's because it's drying up, but if you didn't know we were just working on this, it would look finished like the rest of that. And this just looks really bright because I have a light shining right down on top of it. But if I take that off, you can see it just looks like one continuous rock face going all along here. So this comes up, and then on this side of it, there'll be a little bit of rock that I'm going to do right here that's going to connect into the face of this. So that and then of course, this goes here, and bridge comes across right here, and then this will be rock all back here, and then the concrete right here to come this way. So that's how that comes out. So this is how it looks. As I said, this will be, I'll told you all the things. We'll review real quick. The station should be in by next time we get together. I'll be making the I-beam foundations that come across with the vertical and horizontal beams for the entire station. We should have it all printed out. Between printed and custom done, this is having a lot of custom stuff done to it because the original station is enormous. The model is, so it's actually about 3 foot long and in scale. I'm scaling this down to about 2 foot, so I'm having to cut and make my own pieces to make it all work. Of course, then the foundation will all be custom to it, and the roofs will be custom because it's not what they had for it was too big. So that'll all be done. This is going to look really good. We're going to actually have right here underneath the station, underneath the parking garage, we're going to have lights that'll light this whole area up. And of course, the platform for the passenger train right here with the stairs coming down. My mom said, you need to put an elevator in for the people that can't make it down on the stairs, or people are going to get mad at you. So I may put an elevator in. We'll see. Just the shaft of it. All you'll be able to see is like the shaft of the elevator coming down. If we're filming this, you'll probably be able to see the doors. So we will probably put that in for, back in the day, there wouldn't be anything, but today's day and age, we definitely would have to have it, and rightfully so. So I might as well model it that way too. So that, I hadn't even thought about that, but that was nice input from her. So if anybody has any input on things that need to be added, things that need to be, to make it more realistic, I think I'm trying to cover all my bases as far as practicality goes, realism goes, but we will see. So that is, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be bringing this weathering all the way down through, even underneath this, but where these beams go across, the I-beams that we're going to make, I'm probably going to bring some rust down. I'll make some more streaks that'll be a little rustier in those areas. And we're going to leave this side open. You'll just be looking through the beams. I'm not going to close off any of this at all. It'll be completely visible. That way we can watch the trains run, and we'll just go between the I-beams and the wall, the retaining wall. We have decided to make our own custom fence instead of doing cheap-looking chain link fence along here. We're going to actually design more of an arts and crafts deco style fence that we're going to paint a really cool color that'll sit on top of the sidewalk right here. That'll be coming. That'll be one of the last things we install, because I know for a fact that when I'm doing all the details here and everything, and I'm reaching in, I'm going to be tearing that up and breaking it apart all the time. But these are all things that we are coming across that we're going to be adding in. So you will see the High Line coming in very soon. Oh, and down here, the HO layout will be started this next week also. We'll be putting the shelving in that'll be hiding a lot of this, and right here for the back shops and everything. And then it's all going to get underlit, and you'll have backdrops against the wall. And so when you're down here looking at it, you won't even really know it's separate. There's a layout above it. So, all right. So if anybody has any questions, now is the time to ask, because I think we are pretty much done with today's broadcast. So that let this stuff dry, and then again, next Thursday or Friday, probably Friday, more than like 100%, almost 100% positive it's going to be Friday. We will just turn this on. I'll have the camera in the same place I had it here, facing down this way, and I will just be working my way from one end all the way to the other, doing the light gray tones. And that's a fun thing to actually watch happen because it adds all the life, just like it did up here on that. You can see those beautiful light tones, and it gives those edges that final look. So that should be a good day if you want to see how to do those kind of things with dry brushing techniques. If you haven't done that before, what it takes to do it, because there is a little bit, it's really dry brush. You still have to do some mixing on the rock itself when you're doing it to get it to blend out. So I'll show you how to do all those kind of things. So that should probably be like next Friday, I would say probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll run till about 4. That's Central Standard Time. All right, so I haven't heard my son yell that there's been any questions or comments. So we are going to just go ahead and stop here.
Awesome stream. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So if you'd liked it, just keep coming back. We will just keep doing more, and we'll just keep letting this thing build. So again, thank you, everybody, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Ours, now that we have our power back, we should hopefully have a better weekend. So I'll leave it here so you can kind of see what we did with that really long line. It's going to look really great with those trains coming down that. That's why I'm really going to push getting this High Line finished so we can actually see, even though the buildings won't be done and stuff, it's just going to be fun seeing that come through town like that. All right, so that being said, we will get more done. We will have the update next Friday, the long one, and then probably we might even have a short one mixed in somewhere if we get the station pretty well in hand. Depends upon how much we can get built and put together. But anyway, for sure next Friday, and then the next work session after that, I'm not sure when, because like I said, 2 weeks from today, we will be at a train show close by, and we won't, it's on a Saturday, so we'll be able to do it on that Saturday. So it might be 3 weeks before we get to our next Saturday one. But we will have a Friday, and we will have a couple more evening ones coming up. So anyway, thanks again, everybody, and it's been good being with you, and I hope you enjoyed it. And again, have a great weekend.